It's only a few hours to fill out the US Census, but another 10 years to go through the outcomes on your shoulders and on the shoulders of others around you. So this is coming from an Asian American girl who didn't appreciate her culture. I threw away my culture and I was in a state of denial of my own culture. This is myself. I have always been around other ethnicities and my parents encouraged me to. So I grew up learning about the Hispanic culture because a lot of my friends were involved in that. And I learned Dia los Muertos, their street food, and many other things. But learning that made me appreciate my culture because the stories of those culture came from immigrants, peers in my class, my same age, but from another country. That's when I realized that my culture isn't something that I should be ashamed of because it's the soil that my parents planted me in. After that realization, I have been questioning my mother about how her life in Vietnam was, her journey to get here, and how she was treated as an immigrant. My mother had a stress-free life in Vietnam. She would always tell me that she had dolls and she didn't have to worry about things that I had to worry about. But however, in the communist Vietnam, my grandmother abruptly decided that she needed to take my mother and my aunt to the United States. And then she told me about her story, how she had to go by boat and how they were starved of supplies. She had no communication with my great-grandmother for a couple years, and the news of her death were over phone, but it was on the day that her family knew that they were able to go to the US. My mother went from a life filled with dolls to a life where she worked at a bakery and got paid under minimum wage. I realized that I was fortunate enough to have permanent citizenship because I was born in the US. The US Census is important to me because, unlike me, there are many others out there who aren't as fortunate. As the percentage of immigrants continue to grow exponentially, less are willing to be counted in the US Census due to their lack of knowledge, therefore leading to the undercount and lack of resources available to struggling communities. In the 2010 US Census, the data collected shows that 1 in every 3 immigrants don't have a high school diploma. Filling out the US Census would give the immigrant children around you more resources to education, and it would build the foundation to their American dream, which is education. The Anaheim Union School District is doing their job to provide for their students. However, they also need the funds to continue ensuring that the students are getting their education and the equipment needed to. These funds are also determined through the US Census. These forms also determine the job opportunities presented in the area around you, since the US Census collects a number of languages spoken in the area. For example, if you can speak English in another language, they will take that into account and create more jobs for that. As a family member and a friend of immigrants, I am here to tell you all to take the initiative and to take just a few hours of your time to fill out the US Census. Thank you.